All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. We have nothing for our public forum. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from our regular meeting on February 18th. Everyone has a copy. Does anyone have any corrections?
Just thank you for cleaning up my part at the end.
All right, if there are no questions, could I have a motion to approve the minutes from our February 18th meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Then it's carried. Next is consideration of the police activity report for February of 2025. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the fire department report for February 2025. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is the approval of claims. Everyone has a copy. I got all my questions answered today. So Maggie got nervous when I.
Oh, that's a lot.
Does anyone have any questions for Maggie or Anthony?
I just have a question.
Sure.
The surveillance cameras, 12 locations, where are those locations?
Basically everywhere. I couldn't probably name 12 off the top of my head, but all of our municipal parking lots,
Okay.
all of our municipal parks.
The entrances and exits.
Yep, entrances and exits to the village. But I can provide you with a list.
Okay, no,
Of
I
the 12,
was
but
just
that's-
wondering if they were just gonna be parks or if they were gonna be.
If we tell you, we have to kill you.
You'll see them on the telephone poles. when
It
you
is a
drive
rough
by.
crowd
Yeah.
tonight.
But I can share the full list, but yeah, it's basically any municipal owned property.
Yeah.
Including the entrances and exits, to the village.
That's in addition to the ones we already
The
have.
park, exactly, in addition to our plate readers, things of that nature. So we had some extra funds in the technology grant
Yeah.
that we were awarded,
Yes.
and, we put them
And are
everywhere.
these going to be live streamed to
The
the
station.
Albany County again?
Yep, so, they can be viewed right from the police station, but the
Yeah.
server is backed up from Albany County, so we
Okay.
can go back and pull anything from there. I
Thank
think
you.
the last one we added was the big field in the Little League, or
Okay.
was the last one to be added.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? If not, do we have a motion to pay the bills?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next on the agenda is this submittal of the monthly report by the treasurer. Anthony, besides that, I just wanted to, you're still making good money in that, on the interest, so
Right.
thank you very much. And once we get our taxes in, that'll help too. Any questions for Anthony? If not, could I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly report of the Parking Violations Bureau. Everyone has a copy. Could I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of adjustments to the water and sewer billing. Maggie and I talked about this today. We've been told by our auditors that ones that are older, that we have to take them off the books and say that they're not collectible. And that bothers me a little bit. And most of the instances with this are in Maplewood, where we can't put a lien on the house because it's not in our municipality. We're working on trying to figure something out there, but in the meantime, we talked with Lynn today too, and GIPA has had good results with the collection agency that they have for the power bills, and I would like to enter into some kind of an agreement because, you know, I mean, there's some of these in here. I don't mind the little ones. In the under 40, I know it costs more in paperwork to keep them on the books. But, you know, when you got, you know, over $3,000 in something, that's serious as far as I'm concerned. And I think people are ignoring us. And so we're going to work on that. So I just want everybody to know. And Lynn also told us, just because you do this, we can still go after them for the money. It doesn't mean you can't go after them. Well, some of them you can't because they're dead. So, literally. So it helps to clean up for the audits and everything else, but I don't like the village losing money on things like that. So we are addressing it. So I just wanted to tell everybody that. So
money is collected, we can adjust them back on. So, Lynn also made that point to us too, which.
How do you pay the collectors? How does that get paid?
I think
think they get a
wish Kristen was
percentage.
still here,
Per
but
person? I mean,
I think they get a portion of whatever they collect.
Oh,
A
okay.
percentage of what they collect.
Yeah.
Oh,
So, I mean, it's better than
so
nothing.
it's, you're right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
no,
it didn't
I
reflect
agree,
anything, they don't get it.
I was just
Right.
wondering, yeah, that's awful, there's
And
4
there may be
pages.
some that they won't take, that just say they are uncollectible, and I get that. But, you know, when you got over $3,000 and, you know,
Yeah,
1,000
unpaid
something,
bills,
those are worth going after, I think. And just more of it sends a message that, you know, you need to pay your bills. So could I have a motion to make the adjustments to the water and sewer billing?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of setting a date for the budget hearing for fiscal year 25-26. We'd like to propose the date of April 7th at 5 p.m. here at the Municipal Center. We'll have a budget workshop ahead of time, but then this will be for the public to come. Maggie will do a presentation and they can ask any questions that they want to ask, so. Is everyone okay with that date?
Yes.
So can I have a motion to make it April 7th at 5 p.m.?
I'll come here first.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried.
Is that a
Next is,
Saturday? Yeah.
No.
No, it's a Monday.
It's a Monday? Oh,
Monday.
okay. All right, thank you.
next is consideration of setting a date for a public hearing for local law number 1 of 2025, a local law to override the tax levy limit set forth in municipal law, general municipal law. We're not saying that we're going to have to exceed it, but if you don't have this in place, and you know, our budget is very fluid right now, we're working on it. So if we'd like to set the date for it, because you have to have it published so many days ahead of time. So we'd like to set the date, and if we don't need it, we don't need it. So I don't know if anyone has any questions on that, or Anthony, if you want to explain it better than that.
Yeah, it has to be approved prior to the approval of the budget.
Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
All right, so we'd like to set that for April 21st at 6:10 here, and that would be the same day as our April meeting. So we just do it, if there's no planning board, we do it at 10 after. If there is a planning board, we do it right after planning board and before our regular meeting. Correct?
Correct.
All right. Could I have a motion to make it April 21st at 6:10?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Got a lot of public hearings going on here. Next is consideration of setting a date for the public hearing for renewal of the cable television agreement between Spectrum Northeast LLC and the Village. And this is one of the reasons why we're in kind of a hurry to get Patrick, which I hope you guys are all gonna approve that later.
Yes.
Because we need to have an attorney go over these things before we sign them. So, we'd like to set that for April 21st at 6:10 before our regular meeting.
I'll make the motion, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Second.
Is that what
Yeah.
you're looking for?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of ratifying an agreement between the Village of Green Island and CT Mail for administrative and engineering support for the Green Innovation Grant Program for a water meter replacement project. You're on, Mag.
Sure. So, this was time sensitive, so we had to go ahead and sign the agreement and get it back to CT Mail. If you remember, CT Mail is the engineering firm that did the North End water study. Part of that water study, a result of that study, was that we're losing a lot of unmetered water. And we've been having discussions internally about water billing in general. There's a lot of nuances that we're coming across because we bill quarterly. For an example, if someone has a leak in January, they're not notifying it about it until their next quarter bill. We want to replace all of the water meters in the village so that to an electronic read. This way we could read them monthly, although we're still going to bill quarterly, we could read them monthly. And that way we can alert property owners of spikes in their usage. CT Mail, we already had an agreement with for the North End study, so they were able to do an amendment to that study, so we didn't have to go out to RFP or RFQ for this, because the due date is April 11th. So it's been like a 4-week turnaround, so we're working very hard to get the documents in place to get this submitted in time. The total cost of the project is going to be about $600,000. This grant should allow us, if awarded, up to 75% of that. So it's certainly worth the work that needs to be done in the 4 weeks. We weren't able to do the work in-house, so CT Mail has offered to do that at a cost of $7,000. That includes an additional study, feasibility study to be submitted, and all the paperwork and submittal of the grant application.
And we are making a lot more water than what we're billing out for, so there is a problem someplace, and part of the problem, obviously, it's, water breaks, but they usually surface, and you know that. But some of these meters may not be reading properly the amount of water that people are using. So it will give a more accurate read to everyone's water bills. And it's going to save money on the reading of the whole thing, because it takes quite a while to do the reading. So this is actually going to be a drive-by. So that'll be good.
We've talked to neighboring communities that have done this project, and within 5 years, they made all of their money back for the cost of the meters. So that's how.
The Nans did it, and they did it with the
Yeah.
same people that we're talking about getting the meters from, so it looks good.
And this is just literally someone having to drive around.
Very similar to what GIPA does now. They
Yeah.
drive around and take reads. They are actually, we're talking with GIPA, we could have the same person read water at the same
Yep.
time.
Yep.
So it's two different like radio heads.
Yep.
And the only difference would be is we would send probably someone from the water department out to read Maplewood.
Okay.
But yes, it would be drive-by readings, but the radio, electronic.
You could also do like something, put something in the garbage truck that
Yep.
goes around the whole village, within 2 days. And,
Yeah, it's like a little
yeah.
laptop, I guess you call it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they don't have to do nothing, they just have to drive. Yeah.
Right now, it's taking us weeks
You
to read
volunteer
meters.
to do it?
They may have to still go out and manually read some
Yeah.
exceptional things, like an industry or something like
For instance, my
that.
meter was replaced in the fall,
Mhm.
so I'm under the.
You might have a new meter, yeah.
Yeah.
How much do you think that we've lost in water since?
We have the numbers in the study. I don't recall off the top of my head, but it's millions of, not millions of dollars, millions
No,
of gallons.
Millions
Yeah.
of gallons. That's,
And that's not unusual.
It's not?
We met with Cohoes about the water, and we met with Colony about the water. They all have the same problem.
oh,
There's a natural loss of
In
where
the
it
pipes,
goes.
cracks in the pipes and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
And once in a while, you'll get a leak that it travels over to the riverbank rather than coming up. So that sucker can run forever, and you'll never know it,
Find it.
Any questions? If not, could I have a motion to ratify the agreement with CT Mail?
make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of adopting a resolution pertaining to the issue of type 2 action under seeker in connection with the water meter replacement project.
Yeah, this is a requirement of the grant application. It's seeker, so that's your, accompanied by an environmental assessment form, the EAF. Certainly there's no environmental hazard here, with this project, but unfortunately, it's just part of the
If anything, it's positive.
requirements. Exactly. So it's a, certainly a type 2, which is no, negative declaration of any impact environmentally.
Any questions? If not, can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Next is consideration of the monthly recap submitted by the GIPA and DPW crew from February 14th to March 13th. Everyone has a copy. As usual, they've been very busy. You'll look that over. Anyone have any comments? If not, could I have a motion to accept the recap?
I make the motion?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. Ward Forum, just some things to keep in mind. We have a budget workshop to be held for the trustees on Tuesday, April 1st at 5:30 right here. And that's just,
5 o'clock.
oh, I'm sorry, 5 o'clock
Here?
here.
Here.
Okay.
We also have budget hearings to be held on Monday, April 7th at 5 p.m. at the Municipal Center. A possible special meeting following budget hearings to authorize the submission of grant for water meters, which is due by April.
Yeah, the due date was April 11th, so we did the budget hearings on the 7th, just in case we need to do a special meeting for any other requirements of the grant application. We don't believe at this time we're gonna need that, but we just tentatively wanna give you a heads up in the event something pops up with that grant application. We have to do it on the 7th, just because the due date is the 11th.
And Heatley is having a talent show on April 4th. Are you in the talent show?
She's running.
Potentially.
She's in the talent show.
You're in the talent show?
Mhm.
I encourage everyone to participate in the talent show.
Unfortunately, I'm gonna be out of town, and I really am sorry, because I would love to see this.
Everyone told me you'd be singing.
No, I can't.
Well, I'm
Angela
disappointed.
said she's gonna record it for me, though.
Okay, all right.
So.
I'm willing to take anyone interested on my, what I have going on.
I have no talents.
Neither do
You don't need to have talent.
Oh, that's what
We
you
have no
think.
talent.
You're
We're
just pretty
pretty
excited
good
about
sport.
it. It should be good.
Good job.
Now, the other thing for, we need to do, other business. I think probably everybody that's here was here when I talked about Pat Jeffers before becoming our attorney. And I wanna say it again, what I said earlier about Joe Legnard. There's nobody that can replace Joe for the 40 years that he's been here and all of the institutional knowledge that he has. And he's been very, very faithful to our community. He grew up here. And I'm just very grateful to him for everything that he's done for all of us. But he's been ill, and he told us that he just can't do it anymore. So we're suggesting that we have Pat Jeffers come. Pat has a lot of experience as an attorney, but also in municipal matters, so he comes well-trained. But I'm gonna ask you to do the same thing we did at the last meeting. I don't know if Joe's watching or not, but he may tune in later, because this is recorded, right? Can we just stand and give him a round of applause? Thanks, Joe. So does anyone have any questions for Pat? He'd be happy to answer anything. If not, could I have a motion to appoint Patrick Jeffers as our attorney?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? And it's carried. And I told him next month, he has to sit right here where Joe did, because Joe would always kick me if I said something wrong. And Pat says he's got a lot of experience in that tactic, so. Oh, yeah, I forgot to do that. You got some information in here about, fund balance, which our auditors have told us we have to have a policy on, so I asked Anthony, we're not voting on it tonight, I asked Anthony if he would just, kind of explain what it is and why.
So fund balance is the difference between your assets and liabilities and your balance sheet, basically. So if you have more revenues that come in than expenses, you basically increase your fund balance at the end of the year. We have a substantial amount of fund balance. The auditors did say we should have a policy in place to use it, to fill revenue if we needed it. One of my plans was, if the grant doesn't go through for the water meter project, we were going to use fund balance to pay for it. So we need this policy in place before the budget is passed in order to use the money.
So we'll probably actually be voting on it next month, correct?
Yes.
Could we use the money for, if we have to do something with our water system?
Yes, it's because you can use it as a one-time expenditure. There is limits. There's all different classification of fund balance for each different fund. So
I didn't
depending
know-
on what it was, we would have to look into it.
Oh, so you can use it for, like, we can use our general, Is there a water and sewer fund balance?
Yes.
There is, also that
Not a lot of
or-
balance, there's not a
No,
lot
There's
of
not a lot
fund
of
in there.
fund in there, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's much smaller.
Oh.
Then we've actually run in the red sometimes when, things like when the well collapsed
well
over there.
collapsed, you're
and,
right.
You know, we had to pay for all our water coming
Right.
in and, so.
Our sewer is better than the water's always been
Yeah.
historically the worst.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because our rates are high. And our sewer.
And we're losing water.
Our
Yep.
somewhere.
Yeah, our sewer rates are low,
Yeah.
and they got a better balance. Go figure.
Okay. I didn't know how that worked.
Yeah, usually one-time expenditure, you can use it.
Oh,
Put
okay.
it into the budget and use it for one time.
Is that for unassigned or capital projects, what?
Yeah,
Which one is
unassigned.
one time? The
Unassigned, yeah.
Can you split it, and use it on a couple different things?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah,
Because technically, we're not supposed to make money.
correct.
No, but you're also supposed to have a fund balance for emergencies.
Yes.
You should never
I
be.
haven't figured
And
that
that-
one out, but yeah.
That's why we have a certain percentage should be, of our operating expenses should be fund balance.
And we're actually in good shape. We don't have debt. We're, I was telling Patrick, we,
It's below 10%, so.
we squeeze every nickel before we spend it, but, and we also have department heads who are very good about keeping, costs down and pinching every nickel. So, does anyone have any questions for Anthony?
Thank you.
All right, so, if there's nothing else, our next meeting will be back to a Monday again, April 21st, 6:10, 6:20, whatever, if we have a
Be here
planning
at
board
6.
meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Be here at 6.
Yeah, be here at 6.
We have a
Yeah,
lot
'cause-
of public hearings, because in addition to those, we also have one on section 8. So there's 3 potential public hearings
On that same day?
in April, plus the budget.
Yeah.
April's a big meeting.
Hey, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's carried. Thank you very much, everybody.
That's a lot of work.